Greetings, everyone. Good evening. Hold on. The camera's not focusing. All right, there we go. Greetings, everyone. Good evening. Thank you guys for joining today. I actually didn't do a weekly prep Sunday stream with you guys. My weekend was a little busy, and knowing that it was football Sunday, I figured people probably wouldn't be attending as much anyway. So instead of that, today I will be doing a midweek chart and chill session as we usually do. And we'll begin with a quick look at the weekend, our plan that I provided over the weekend. So far with the indices, we've been pretty much range bound this entire week for 3 days already. The upside and downside pivots for SPX, for example, 44.99.56 is the upside pivot for the week that I provided over the weekend, and then 44.31 is your downside pivot. So far, we've been trading between these two ranges. I mean, since Monday, we've only been trading within a 40-point range, believe it or not. So, not exactly the most exciting week, but if you are prepared and you have your levels and you're efficient at charting and reading price action, you can still obviously capitalize on these opportunities within these smaller ranges, right? Which is basically what we've been doing. I mean, even just trading the indices this week, we've hit, I think, about 3 or 4 over 100% trades already. Today was a little choppier for us, and a lot of that has to do with me being a little more impatient or a little too patient. I think it's a bit of both. In the morning, we took 3 losses in a row, playing 44.90 calls 3 times, and I wouldn't say the analysis was bad because I had pretty high conviction that we were going to see higher today, which we did. But I think the timing of my entries were just poor, so execution wasn't that great. However, if you guys have ever noticed me, I personally have a daily. Everyone has a daily goal, as you should. You should also have a daily stop loss. So for me personally, it's either a percentage or when I hit a number of trades. So for example, usually when I hit 2 or 3 red trades in a row, I stop. Even if it's not stopping for the whole day, I take a step back, I walk away for a bit, and I reassess. So that's what happened today. Right after that third losing trade, you guys noticed that I just didn't talk for a while. I wasn't down much. I sized pretty light on all my trades today, but I always care more about the execution. And when I have 3 losing trades, there's something wrong with my execution. Doesn't matter how small my losses are. So that's what I usually do. I step away. I take a minute to let things structure out, reassess the chart, come back for better opportunities. And that's what we did. So right after that, we came back with 2 back-to-back green trades, 68%. I think the other was 30% or something like that. But relatively decent day. I ended the day on my option support about 2%, 3% up. And futures, I destroyed NQ today. I'm up. I ended the day plus 3,200, 3,300. So pretty good day. Aside from that, we have CPI. Tomorrow we have PPI. And as for right now, until we start breaking some of these higher levels, and when I say higher levels, I mean 44.88 at least. And you guys know I've been using this as an upside pivot daily this entire week. So unless we break that or we break under and hold under 44.59 today or the rest of the week, then we're going to be stuck between this 20-point range for 30-point range for quite some time. So as of right now, we broke down from this bear flag once again. We did a couple fake outs above, reclaimed it, broke down, retested a bit today, broke down again. Okay, so this is what you kind of want to watch for further downside. In terms of upside, I wouldn't mind getting this gap filled at least into 44.97. Right below our weekly upside pivot. Even if we take a look at the inverted scale, there's a potential bear flag, right? Forming here. We need to break above some of these levels. We've been rejecting fibs on both sides this entire week, basically, especially today. It was actually perfect for playing fibs, and I can actually redraw these things. So to give you an idea, for example, this more macro fib on this range, we bounced right off of it this morning, and that provided a move all the way into 44.77. Okay. Now, if you draw another fib from the recent high on Monday into today's low, which was at 10 a.m., you'll see that we rejected the fibs to the upside. Okay. We took puts somewhere a little earlier. I think we could have waited a little longer, but the puts ended up hitting 50% by the time it hit down here. I was really hoping for the 44.48 to hit as my last target, and that would have provided 400% or so on the contract. But anything under that, I really didn't care about the profits, so I only took one contract. But you can see how we rejected the fibs again, and then we traded right down to the fibs once again, right near it. So it's a lot of range bound action, and these are just a couple of ways that you can capitalize on smaller ranges by just waiting and being more patient with shorting resistance and longing support, essentially. Okay. So keep in mind for tomorrow we have PPI. Let me actually take a look at the other data that we have. Yeah, PPI, retail sales, business numbers. Not anything too important after that. We have jobs report as well. That's pretty much it. All right. So now looking at ES and NQ. NQ was actually for futures, not so much for options, but for futures, it's actually been a great day to scalp. I scalped way too many times today, but I'm glad I did because I ended the day pretty green on futures. So pretty much the same thing. I mean, this morning I told you guys I actually shorted NQ for CPI, caught a great entry right around my 500 level, shorted it down to the 437 level, and then eventually pop back up. Once we got back into this range, I was telling you guys to go long, right? I think I was giving entries at 494 for NQ longs, and I was telling you guys to target 563. 563 met, just shy a little bit. Retrace the entire move, went into 468 once again, and then bounced the entire way up into the close or into the afternoon. Okay. So again, we've been seeing the same structure. I'm going to show it to you on ES actually. We've been seeing the same structure happening on ES and NQ pretty much this entire week. If you guys remember from, it was either yesterday or Monday. Let me actually go back here. I believe it was here. Yeah, I believe it was Tuesday, yesterday, where we used all these lows, right? You can see how many times they've been reacted to. And this was basically the RTH session, okay? And how this entire range, unless this breaks, direction is up, okay? And again, you can use these essentially to long support. Every time it hits this box, you long it. Every time it hits the box, you long it. Set a stop below the box. Every time it hits it, long it again. Once it breaks, you can short it. It's very simple demand zone support strategy. Okay, so if you take a look at ES today, basically the same thing. All right, this is overnight action from 10 p.m. yesterday, leading all the way into CPI this morning. So once again, same thing. You now have your box. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, CPI, 8. Okay. So this signifies strength. It's very straightforward. Signifies strength, which is why it provided me confluence in terms of saying, hey, we're going to go higher today. Okay. Every time we hit and retested this range, buyers bought it up. Every time we got down here, buyers bought it up. And look at the heavy momentum moves. I mean, ES dumped, what is this? About 17 points from up here all the way back into the box. As soon as it tested it again, it rebounded the entire move. Okay? So same thing happened again today in near the close when we were in those puts. We tested the box once again. and immediately bounce into the close. Okay. Each side is about 17 points. So if you're trading futures on ES, forget about NQ. If you're just taking ES, I mean, these are really great scalps. In reality, it's a very small range, but these are actually great scalps, right? You're looking at 10 to 15 point moves each way. You just have to be patient, short resistance, long support. And I told you guys while we were holding those puts, this needs to break. If this doesn't break, then those puts are no longer going to be valid. But if this box breaks, then I'm expecting that lotto put to hit 400 or 500%, because from there we're likely to see all the way down to 44.93. Okay. So that was with ES today. Now, if we actually take a look at NQ, basically the same thing. Okay. The 15468 level that I have here acted as your support overnight. You got your initial test right around 2:30 a.m. And even if we just do the same thing and draw a box based off the initial low here, okay, you're going to see the same thing. You got your initial low, got a retest, then a backbreaker right onto my level and a bounce. You get another test. You get another test here. You get another test. You finally get a break and a break of my level. Okay, for a quick stop. I mean, this is overnight action. I really don't care about this. Liquidity is much lower, but you get the idea. Okay, once we reclaimed the box, we sent it again. CPI came. We broke down all the way into these lower levels, and this bounce is significant. Okay, when you see a bounce like this and a reclaim of its entire dump, especially on news such as CPI, it should tell you something. There's momentum there. Buyers are coming in. You just have to be patient, wait for this breakout. And you guys may have remembered I mentioned this morning while we were taking these longs, 510 is key for NQ to hold above. Okay? 500 is going to be your first confirmation. Above 510, you can expect higher. And that's basically what we saw in the morning session. From there, we dumped again. Okay? Went right back into my 468 level, into this green box, then reclaimed the entire dump again. And then we kind of slow grinded into higher levels into 606. And then from there, we dumped again. Okay? So I've been saying this for a while, you know, and especially this week since we've been range bound. I keep telling you guys two things: identify the range, then execute the range. That's all you need to do. You identify the range, especially with these overnight ranges. We've been relatively choppy overnight. There hasn't been any real significant moves, so it's very easy to identify your ranges that will be affected and will be relevant when the market opens for a regular trading session. Okay. But I think that's it for the indices. Do you guys have any questions about that? Everyone understand what I just went over? Pretty simple stuff. You guys can leave a comment or a message in Discord. You guys have any questions? If not, I'm going to move on. All right. Julio. Oh, all right, cool. I'm going to move on. Now, moving on to individual names. For the watch list this week, we had, I know we had Baba. Yeah, we had Baba, Coin, and Meta. Bearish on Meta and Baba, bullish on Coin. We've been day trading Coin quite a lot lately. We hit Coin for 100% on Monday, or I think it was yesterday, for a very easy morning trade. Right now, Coin is still rejecting some of my key levels, rejecting the fibs, potential bear flag that it just broke down from. So this is still trading within range. But I've been using the opportunity, knowing that this can pop into my higher levels on day trades, right? So we've been day trading Coin, I believe, almost every day the past week. Last Thursday and Friday, I think, and yesterday. Okay, so you can trade the same ticker all day long if you want, or every day. You know, you have to find opportunities to trade them. Now, Baba, you know, 88 has been a very key level for God knows how long. Every time I put Baba on the watch list, it's always around this level. We finally broken down from it. And we need to see this box break now. Okay, this purple box here. Need to see this box break to help confirm further downside, and from there we can likely see the gap fill down into 84. All right, but again, I discussed this in the last video. You know, Baba has been rejecting macro bear flags multiple times. It's all highlighted here in the circles. Okay. What's interesting is that all of these bear flags that started to form have provided extremely large ranges. So, I mean, even when I gave you guys the bottom on Baba back in May, which was right around here on a weekly watch list, this provided a 20-point move into upside, right? Into the peak. It's about 25% on underlying within just a matter of 2 to 3 months. And then from there, we rejected the bear flag once again. And then now we've pretty much reverted back to the mean. So keep this on watch as well. Obviously, there's still likely more continuation as long as we hold below these levels. Meta. I gave you guys meta for this week as well, but we have not executed on this. Can anyone tell me why? Real quick. Just type it in chat. Can anyone tell me why? Why we haven't executed puts on meta yet? Anyone? Come on, guys, you gotta engage more. All right, I'm just gonna say it because I don't want to waste time. Because the entry and confirmation is 298.12. So as long as we are trading above this, there's no entry yet. Although it's actually not looking bad for entries. What happened to my? Okay, there we go. It's not looking too bad for entries as we are still rejecting the fibs. We are starting to build a potential bear flag here as well. But again, I would like to see this below 298 for better confirmation for downside. Aside from that, I'm not taking anything on this yet. All right. If you guys have liked my content and do enjoy these charts and chill streams and my previous videos, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to my channel. We'll definitely do more. If you guys want to join our community, if you're not in already and trade with us, there's a link down below where you can join Zenith Trading. We do live trading Thursdays and Fridays as well. And then I'm always on here 24/7 trading with everyone. So I think you guys would like it. But moving on to the next thing, which was, I think that was it actually. Yeah, that was the last three. So one ticker I wanted to look at is UPS. UPS actually has some great downside potential. And here's my actual chart for it. I would like to see UPS break this 155 area. I had gone over this with you guys in chat already earlier this week, and these are essentially the moves that I'm looking for to the downside into 135. Now, below 135, we can likely fill the gap all the way down into 125. Okay? But we take it level by level. Once this 155 gives up, it's going to the gulag. I mean, there's really no support below this. So I'm very interested in UPS, maybe even taking October or November puts just to provide yourself some more time and less risk. But this looks like an A+ setter for shorts. Now we have to wait and see if we do end up getting a bounce in the market. We can likely fill this gap to the upside, and then that may provide a better opportunity to short it. But I would definitely like to see this 155.25 area break to confirm. You'll notice we actually just bounced off of this level on Tuesday at the belt. We dumped, and then we bounced right off of it. Almost to the penny. So this is what you want to watch. But aside from that, once that breaks, should be able to provide some downside on that. Now we can take a look at some other names just to prep for Thursday and Friday. Tesla looks to be structuring out and likely see gap fill to the upside up here. Okay. We got a massive breakout here. All right, got a massive breakout of this bull flag here. And then now we're starting to structure out again above support. Okay, which is essentially this box here, this range. I could even extend it just a little bit here. There you go. All right, so from there, we're going to need to watch out for a more midterm. Need to watch for a 280 break, in which we can likely see 291 for a gap fill again. Cool. And interestingly enough, we are actually just rejecting the fibs here. Let's take a look at some other names. Amazon's been chugging along. A few weeks ago, I gave you guys Amazon during one of the Charts and Chill streams and basically compared it to the movement of Google, in which Google displayed strength throughout the entire time when the indices were pulling back and chopping around. Google is the one large cap tech name that did not pull back. When Nvidia pulled back, when Meta pulled back, all these names pulled back aside from names such as Google. So based on that, you're going to notice that it's an anomaly, right? Google's not pulling back. Large cap tech. Okay. So now when I look at Amazon, that's how I pretty much analyze this exact same move that would come. I believe we did this stream at the end of August or early September, I forget. But basically projecting this entire move and a breakout of this bull flag, which is the same exact thing as Google. Okay? Same exact moves. All right? Except Amazon was lagging behind. Google had already broken out at this point. Amazon had not broken out of this bull flag yet. And since then, we are now trading at 145. I do think Amazon might be a little topped out. There's definitely going to be some resistance based off this previous local high back in August of last year. But this can have some more juice in it before it pulls back. Take a look at UPST. All right, UPST. I don't like UPST for day trades for puts to short it down to 27 again. We have pretty much broken this box here. We are continuing to trend lower, obviously printing lower highs. But once this area gives up here, we are likely to see 27 once again. So this may be a good candidate for day trades as well. Carvana, I like also. It's maybe good potential for day trades into the end of the week. This is also a name that I've discussed previously, in which a break above 57 will likely fill this entire move to the upside. This box. Okay. Same velocity that we came down, you're going to see the same thing going up once we get back above this pivotal level. Now, if we actually zoom in a bit, the chart actually doesn't look bad. Broke out of this bull flag. We're now printing lower highs, higher lows within the structure, higher highs, right? This is something that you can likely expect to happen. It may need another one, but something like this to happen on Carvana. So I do like Carvana as well for longs. I don't think this is done. And I do think that it just needs a little more time to structure out. What else is there? Take a look at our firm. Our firm worked out extremely well for the weekly watch list that I provided you guys with last week. Gave it to you guys when it was trading at around, I think, 18 or 19. We are now trading at 24 or 23. Also provided you guys this to buy shares on back when it was 17. So those positions should be up nice. What else is there? Netflix. I wanted to short Netflix today, and I stopped watching it, unfortunately. And this, I mean, it's a 20-point dump from today. Completely missed this move. I think I saw the contracts. 430 puts were on the watch list that I gave you guys this morning. Those saw about 10 bags from the low, a little over 10 bags. Went from like 165 to 19. And this has further downside. Although I would expect this to structure out a bit right around this area before it continues lower. You're going to get some support down here as well. Right, within this range. And then see what happens from there. but looks pretty decent for a short now. What other names? BA. Just trying to find some other tickets to trade for tomorrow's watch list. BA, super bearish. Although this is heavy support on BA. So I'm expecting this to kind of structure out again like it did previously when it was starting to form this range here. And then go from there. I believe I wanted to short BA a couple days ago, but never really bothered to. Airlines in general, I think, have been getting slammed. Yeah, Delta's been getting slammed. UAL's been getting slammed. Yep. BAC still looks pretty good. You guys know this was on the watch list, I believe, last week or 2 weeks ago. We have now tested the trend lines again and bounced again earlier this week. This is going to be a bullish divergence down here as well with these two, the lower low. And then from there, yep, bullish divergence here, lower low. We can still see higher on this, so I'm still watching BAC as a side watch for swings. But I do like banks. I do think that banks should be able to get some relief soon. What else is there? Oh, let's see. Let's look at some other names. I'm not, honestly, just based on the names that I've looked at so far, I'm not really seeing any crazy A+ setups for tomorrow yet. I think it really depends on the indices once we open up tomorrow. Today was pretty much a roller coaster ride. I mean, we chopped for most of the day. Didn't provide too many moves until the late afternoon. Let's see. I'm not really seeing too many setups right now. Roku is nasty. I mean, this is an ugly rejection. Really ugly rejection. This pocket here, this green zone that I've drawn here, you should not expect this to break too easily. Okay. Look at the amount of time that is spent forming this range. This is from April of last year all the way into July until we finally got the break. You're looking at 3 months of consolidation and chop. So you can't expect with Roku, you can't expect this straight shoot right over it, retest it, and continue. This is likely going to chop around as well. May not do 3 months. It may just reject its entire range, see lower again, and then do its other cycle later on. However, you're likely to expect a couple tests of these ranges before it finally decides to break out. Okay, just based strictly on time and price. Square trading inside, not really liking that. Not really seeing any too many names. INTC, I think I provided INTC a while back. Beautiful move off these lows. This was a structure that we were discussing previously with the consolidation breakout from here. Now we're trading at 38s and also just rejecting right near our macro trend line, which dates back to when? To the 2009 low. Okay. So this is going to be pivotal for a more midterm to long-term outlook. We need to get above this area here, above this trend line to confirm a move back into 46. Otherwise, trend is still bearish on this on a macro level, which means that as long as we reject this, we can go right back down into this range and this range. Cool. NVIDIA. I would like to short NVIDIA sometime or move down. Jensen's been selling stock like crazy on NVIDIA, by the way. I think he's just sold another 20 billion this week. I believe the total is actually I believe the total is like 70 billion worth the past month. My numbers might be wrong, but it's pretty high up there. But you guys know that we've been pretty much taking opportunities to short NVIDIA quite often the past couple weeks. So I'm hoping that we can get another move on NVIDIA either tomorrow or Friday, but it's pretty evident that we have strong support here. So unless this range breaks, you're looking for the larger move basically down here. Once this breaks, you're looking at the gap fill into 435 and then lower down here. Okay. But you're likely going to see support down here. So right around this 435 to 437 area. Once we get to that and within the gap fill, you're likely going to see a bounce, maybe even retest 440, 445. And if that confirms on the retest and rejects, then you're going to see lower once again. Okay. That's just on a short-term view. All right. But on a more macro view, we have broken the bear flag already. So now it's just taking its time to consolidate. MMs are selling and making sure that we've gotten all the buyers out before they dump it again. All right. Microsoft's been chugging along. Yeah, I mean, aside from that, I'm not really seeing anything that's catching my eye too much. Everything's just kind of still within range. There are some names that are moving better than others. There are some that are dumping more, but most things are still trading within its chop and range recently. Actually, there was one name. Here it is. Crowd. I do like Crowd. Maybe not potentially for day trades, but maybe better for swings, for rejection of these areas here and possibly a move back into 160s. And then 162 to 160. Depending on how this week closes, I may add this to the watch list next week. But I'm not expecting any real dump on this. I think 160 should hold on Crowd for a move higher. But based on its recent pop, especially with ER, I do think that this may need to take some time to consolidate and retrace before its next leg up. Twilio. Twilio range bound. Not really liking this chart too much. Could be potential downside, but you're not really looking at much. Maybe a move down is 63. But this is not ready for any type of breakout yet. On a macro level, it does look decent, but we need to get back above like this area here. At least. Square, nothing has really changed with Square. I think I went over this in the last session. I feel bearish on Square, but it needs some time. You can obviously see we've been trading in the same daily inside candle from Friday. We haven't really moved yet. So your pivot for upside is going to be above this 56. Pivot for downside is basically going to be the bottom of this inside candle, around 52.70. But on a macro level, I would definitely like to see if we get down into the 49 range and see if that holds. You know, it's going to be a very pivotal level. So if we end up there and we actually break that and hold below it for some consecutive days, you're likely going to see a much lower move into the 40s again. But aside from that, I mean, even if you take a look at this chart on the inverted, it does not look great, right? I mean, it looks bullish. That's what I'm trying to say. It looks bullish. Same. This is your cock and balls, basically. Okay. This is your cock and balls. So you have your left nut, you got the cock, you got your right nut. Okay. So if they don't end up holding this structure down here, based off this previous range that took 2 years to break out from, then this is likely going to be testing a lot lower levels at around 40 and even mid 35s or mid 30s. I mean. All right. Cool. I think that's about it. Pretty much it. Tesla, I already went over Tesla. Amazon, I also went over Amazon. You guys can catch the recording. Again, if you guys enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, and share this video. I'm gonna continue doing these because I do enjoy doing these as well. But I think that's about it. I mean, I'm not really seeing any other opportunities that really catches my eye too much. So I think I prefer to wait and see where we're trading at on the indices tomorrow morning and then go from there. I would definitely be focusing more on SPX tomorrow, just based on the fact that a lot of these individual names look like they're more within the range still. And for SPX and NQ and ES, we're likely going to be seeing some more directional moves soon, considering how long we've been trading within this range. Oh, PDD, thanks for bringing that up. I forgot to talk about this before. PDD. All right. So you guys remember back in the day, actually, it wasn't too long ago. When was it? a month ago, 2 months ago. I gave you guys PDD at the lows. I think it was right around. It was either here or here. Gave you guys PDD on the weekly watch list right at the lows. Unfortunately, TOS doesn't allow you to trade PDD, so I never traded it. But from then, we've seen a move into 100. Okay. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is not only because it's obviously bullish, but there is actually a bull case for PDD, and it's by one small company that's going viral, Temu. Okay, I'm sure you guys have heard about Temu. It's basically AliExpress, Alibaba, but what people don't realize is that Temu is actually owned by PDD. It's owned by Pinduoduo, and this has become such a viral marketplace for people, especially if you're on TikTok. You're gonna see this all over TikTok, and people doing these Temu hauls and unboxing like $200 worth of stuff that they were able to get for, that came to like a quantity of 20 different products. So it's been blown up. I order on Temu once just to try it. It's okay. But what's interesting about Temu is that the way they built their app, they've gamified your entire shopping experience. They've completely gamified it. Now you can get everything from super cheap price. It's like wholesale prices if you're buying directly from China. It's essentially the same thing. Not all of them have good quality. And I wanted to further test this just based off like prices. Obviously, if you buy too cheap, you should expect what you're getting. But if you kind of find like a more mid-tier or a higher priced product, based on your knowledge of what it should be priced at, I think the quality may be a lot better. But based off what I've gotten, I mean, I was expecting really shitty quality, and that's pretty much what I got. But all the things work, and they're usable, and they're wearable. But the reason why I'm saying this is because PDD owns Temu, and Temu is blowing up in the US right now. The downside of Temu is that there are research papers going down, and I don't know if they're rumors or not, but there's research going around that the Temu app has a lot of privacy issues where they have spyware code in the back end. They have, cybersecurity issues. There have been videos that I've seen on TikTok where they purchased on Temu and then all of a sudden they got their money withdrawn from their bank. Okay. Now, number one, you should really never be using your bank for direct purchases on anything. Okay? You should always use a credit card at least. But if you're using Temu, just use Apple Pay. Okay. Number one, it solves your privacy issue. Apple Pay is known for that. So I personally haven't had an issue like that, but I've seen a couple cases of videos on TikToks where people have gotten money withdrawn or they've had charges that they didn't expect. Who knows? All right. But fact of the matter is that just within the past few months of when Temu has really become viral in the US, they've made so much money. I don't need to see the revenue to know that. Okay. Now, what's going to be interesting is if I haven't really dove into their numbers. It would be interesting to see if their revenue is actually net profit, because the prices of these items are honestly, you're buying directly from China. You can buy a blow dryer for five to $10, depending on which one you get. Like the one I bought was maybe $10 and these are essentially almost wholesale prices that you're getting if you just buy directly on AliExpress or Alibaba. So it'll be interesting to see if they're actually making any money. Now, going to the gamified experience, as soon as you create an account on Temu, you're going to be hit with a little spin the wheel type of game where you spin the wheel and you have different types of discounts that you can use for your order. What people don't realize is that everyone gets the same discount, which is the highest one for that spin the wheel. Okay. Everyone gets the same one, but it gives you that gamified feeling of like, oh my God, I won. So I need to order now. And it'll be like something like 90% off. My favorite ones are the ones where they give you get 3 free if you buy 5. So basically how that works is that if you buy 5 items, you're going to get 3 of them free, but they're going to choose the 3 cheapest items in your cart. Okay. So let's say you have like a $20 item, a $10 item, 5, 3, and 2. They're going to make the 3, 5, and 2 free, and then you pay for the 10 and 20, but then you can also use a discount code, which they usually do. It's like 50, 60% off, and you get a discount on that. Okay, so they gamify the entire experience, and you can even search certain numbers or phrases in a search bar, and it'll bring you to a game. Like there's this one game that I was playing. It was basically like feeding fish. Okay, you feed the fish. Every time you feed the fish a certain number of times, you have daily challenges to do. Every time you feed the fish, you get like prizes, and then you get discount codes. And if you have enough of those completed, then you unlock something else, right? So the way they gamified it is actually very interesting to me. I don't really care too much about the gamified portion of it, but it's just interesting from like a consumer like marketing perspective because it kind of keeps you on the app now forever, right? You're like shopping, you're looking at what you want, and you're playing these games. You come back every day to finish these challenges. So it's become extremely popular, and lots of videos on TikTok doing like unboxing, which also brings in more people to the app. So this is kind of my bull case for PDD. Again, the negative side is that there are some research articles that are coming out. I think one of the funds did a research paper about shorting PDD because of it, about how Temu has cybersecurity issues. They sell your data, you know, they have all the information and whatever the case may be. But I feel like that's almost with every app. But that can be a macro bull case for PDD as well. Okay, people just didn't realize that they were owned by that Temu was owned by PDD. But I do like this. Once we get back above this range here, okay, you're likely to see higher into the 120 area. All right, that's all I got for PDD. But that was what I wanted to talk about. And I think that's it, guys. I don't really have anything else, to be honest. Actually, I didn't look at retail and grocery, so let me take a look at some of these names. Wow, Dollar Tree, Jesus Christ, Dollar Tree, Dollar General. These are massive shorts. Dollar General is down almost 50% within a matter of months. That's insane. Gave the entire rally back. Think about this, an entire 3 years worth of gains. This is from 2019, by the way. Entire 3 years worth of gains given back within a matter of 4 months. Insane. What a move. This is what I want to see with Elf. I've been kind of going back and forth with Elf once in a while. This is just such a monster. I mean, look at this. All-time highs every time. We try shorting this, stepped in front of a train, but if that day comes when Elf pulls back and dumps, I mean, this can really give back 50% pretty easily from the highs. What else is there? Walmart. Told you guys Walmart was going to all-time high. Added this to the watch list a few weeks back. We are now trading 4 points above all-time high, almost hitting my 166 target that I gave you guys. But that's about it for retail and grocery. Nothing much else that interests me. That's about it, guys. I'll leave it open for some questions. But aside from that, got nothing else for you. Cool. Everyone good? I appreciate you guys joining. Again, like, subscribe to my channel and share the video. I think the content that we do is valuable for anyone. You don't have to be like an experienced trader. This is pretty much just general market analysis and reviewing. But I'll see you guys on stream tomorrow. And if you guys are interested in joining our community, there's a link down below. Aside from that, have a great rest of your day. And I will see you guys tomorrow.